That was the first song. That was an original. Not sure what sound that was anyway. But yeah, that was an original that I wrote at home that's supposed to reflect modern events. It's supposed to have like a dark, sinister tone to it, but I shouldn't be decoding what the song means because that's up to you, the listener. But yeah, I'm yet to come up with a title for it, but that's what it sounds like.
So two things. One, it's a two-way street. Listeners can interpret, but you're also still welcome to tell them what you had in mind.
Yeah, guess you're right, but I guess that defeats the fun a little bit, but I don't know, that's on me.
I think both are valid. You know, I think people can interpret Robert Frost poems, but if Robert Frost is like, well, this is what I was actually thinking when I wrote the poem, it's weird to me when people are like, you don't know what you're talking about, poet, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
He was there.
You're right. It sets, a line of understanding, set by the person who wrote it, so even rumors don't get out of control. You're right. That was kind of valid. Yeah.
And then the other thing is, you said you don't have a title. What do you want us to put on the CD so that Mike doesn't have an existential crisis?
Burgundy.
Burgundy. It's called Burgundy.
Burgundy it is.
Working titles are fun. There was at one point, one of the most popular bands in town, all of their songs had fast food titles, none of which made it to the album. They were like Sausage Dog, I think, and all their songs were just like carnival food or fair food or fast food, and it was really confusing later going back through set lists and trying to figure out which fast food was a working title for which album track.
Honestly, I'd feel kind of left out if no fast food titled songs came out, because especially in the music world, you never know what amazing pieces of art you can come across, and you should never judge a book by its cover. You could come across a song called Baconator, and that can be the best thing conducted ever since Brian Wilson was in charge of the Beach Boys from 1963 up to 1967. You never know, but don't let titles mislead you.
The song I used as the theme for the second hour for years finally got released this year after 17 years with the name Motorcade. But for 17 years, the title was Strategies for Selecting and Verifying Time Over Fiction.
No kidding.
Little longer to type.
Yeah, I can kind of see where my fingers would develop carpal tunnel after that, but I'm not pointing fingers.
And one of my favorite garbage songs to play on the radio originally had a title that I don't think I could have said on the radio.
Well, that just makes it all the more better.
I'm glad they shortened it, I think. Truncated, it was good in this case.
So, I think
back to
moving
you.
on. Oh, no, it's no problem, man.
Well, I mean, garbage isn't local, and they can get their own hour on a Wisconsin radio station, I guess.
Hi, ABC Sanitary.
Although, I suppose if they booked with WEFT sessions, I would host them. I mean, it'd be pretty cool. They've been here before, just not in WEFT.
I think it'd be pretty groovy, honestly.
Like I'm going to turn down, oh yeah, Smashing Pup, forget it. You can't come on WEFT sessions. You're not based in this zip code. And, Billy doesn't have an ego or anything. I think it'd be nice to have somebody humble on.
I don't know that much about Billy Corgan, but now that you mentioned that, if the Smashing Pumpkins ever did come on the show, that would be the perfect socialization opportunity. Like, hi, people know a lot about you. I do not know anything. Are you able to fill me in with your whole biographical background in about 10 minutes? And that'll be like, because it's a Champaign way. Because here in Champaign, things move by fast.
Well,
whatever.
word is Billy is the exact same weird guy he was when he worked at the video store. The one time I met him, he was really nice. I don't think he says things to impress people because they're not always impressed. But I don't think he puts on a front. I think what you get is the unfiltered mind of Billy Corgan.
Exactly. That's what I admire about musicians who keep their own personal integrity through because the music industry can throw so many things at you, and it really takes a genuine, strongly willed person to really keep their original self with them. Because if you look at anyone at all in the rock industry, 75% of them are probably completely different humans than they were before they got into it. And forbid I ever get some kind of following, I at least hope to keep my integrity. Like, look at Tyler, the Creator. I can safely say he's a weird duck, and I like that. And he infuses that into the music he releases, and you see him as a genuine person, but he releases things at the height of his fame by still being him. Being him markets things, and selling your soul to the devil for rock and roll or something like that, or selling your soul for music for money, that's kind of sinful, in my opinion. But it can also be a way to make a good living by being you. And if being you happens to sell things, being unique, then I don't know. I guess making money is just, something on the side. Like Garth from Wayne's World said, it's like people just do things for money. So sad. But
it's easier to say that when you have money already.
Exactly.
Bill Withers, who passed away this year?
Yes.
The reason he was able to get by doing music his whole life, fairly obscure, because his, I want to say 2 hit albums, he refused much in the way of collaborators. They said, you're crazy doing this on your own. He got all the residuals.
Really?
And so he didn't have to worry if his subsequent albums sold because he didn't sign away any of the rights. And a good businessman. I mean, not like CEO, but like he really knew what he was doing musically, and just did his own thing because he made it so he could.
I'm not a Bill Withers historian either, so a bonus about tonight is I'm learning about things that I didn't really know about before. So I'm here to play music, and I'm learning at the same time. And here's an interesting thing, too. This year, I was diagnosed with this thing called auditory processing disorder. Just to sum it up, here's what it is. It is anxiety-riddled boredom that makes you lose focus of important things. So anyone talking to me, you need to probably repeat what you just said. Like, it's like a delay of information going into your head. So I just want to give a heads up. If I seem awkward at any time in this interview or kind of stuttery, it's probably just because there's a delay of information going into my brain.
Well, the good news is anything I just said about Bill Withers, I can tell you later, or you can look it up. Either way, why don't we have another song and we'll listen to you instead of the other way around?
Oh, yes, of course. No problem. I have another song on my set, and it'll just take me 1 second to change up my amplifier preset for that specific song.
Okie doke.
And it's like a mashup of two, so...
So 2 in a row.
Exactly.
Then I will stay out of your way and enjoy listening to them.
Anyone listening, you can start a stopwatch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll see how fast I can change this amp preset. Okay, you can stop your stopwatches. I said stop 2 times. That's people don't give enough credit to say how hard
this
that
is live radio. We'll just edit it out.
You know what? I'll take your word for it. But anyway. This song is not an original. It was written by 2 gentlemen, and the reason I say 2 gentlemen is because it's a combination of the two. It's Third Stone from the Sun by Jimi Hendrix mixed with Cliffs of Dover by Eric Johnson. that was more than all of you bargained for. I'm sure most of you listening are going like, that did not sound like Third Stone from the Sun or Cliffs of Dover, given you've heard of those two songs if you're under the age of 18. That was like a mix of Are You Experienced, Wild Thing, like early Hendrix. That just kind of came out of me spontaneously. I just wanted to keep going, but I don't know. It'd be like that sometimes.
I'm so tempted to ask who Jimi Hendrix is, but there are people who wouldn't get it.
It's all good.
And it's not particularly funny either. It's just you're saying, like, under 18 might not know. And
it'll surprise you. It's a little more true than you think. Well, I don't know. That's a lie. And I'm part of Generation Z, and I'm not going to lie. Like, a lot of us are. But, like, I was shocked a few times to find out how cultured my generation was, because I'd ask people my same age, like, man, I listen to Hendrix and stuff. I listen to, and they're going, oh, I love those guys too. And I'm like, really?
Well, you see, what's funny is, really all music is relative. And I was talking to somebody the other night about a song that, I think people know it. But he said, well, yeah, I mean, the Dead covered it live more than once. Of course people know it. Like, yeah, there are like people who are really into the Grateful Dead, and then there are people who probably can't name Jerry Garcia. So, yeah, I mean, I know people who don't really know the Beatles very well. So
I'm not going to judge that because that surprises me too. There are people out there who don't really listen to the Beatles, and that may sound like a big shock to a lot of people, but I'm like, dude, there's a lot of music out there.
The important thing is you're not born being able to identify any music. At some point you had to learn it.
Exactly.
And
nothing is preset,
And it's so weird to me that so many radio stations are predicated on the idea that if you hear something you don't recognize, these focus groups show, oh yeah, if they hear a song they don't recognize, they change the station, and it's like, well, it's a song they had to hear it for the first time at some point.
Exactly.
But I'm preaching to the choir here, because if people are listening to WEFT, they probably are willing to leave the dial on something they don't recognize.
Yeah, and that's the thing about music, and that's why every radio station here, has a significant part to everyone's life. Yeah, people don't realize how big of an impact music can make on your life. Some people don't let music enter their lives the way they want to, or if not at all. But without music, I'm confident to say we wouldn't be where we are now, because music influenced everything. It influenced politics and protests. Like 50 years ago in the 60s, people started writing like Jefferson Airplane. They wrote Volunteers at the height of the San Francisco Haight-Ashbury Summer of Love movement, and that's what triggered, all sorts of like fireworks just going off in the sky, just new movements, new political, just new activists who are just coming to stardom.
So, I have a question for you. Did they write We Built This City, yes or no? True or false?
To my best knowledge, yes.
No. Elton John's songwriter wrote We Built This City.
I am not really surprised at all. I don't keep tabs on that song, honestly.
Don't blame Grace Slick.
I had a hard time believing that was her brainchild anyway. I was like, Grace wouldn't do that.
She has said on numerous occasions, yeah, they paid me to sing it. It was my job to sing it. Sing it or we'll get somebody else to sing it.
I knew it was kind of hard to believe at first. I was like, oh, Grace, you wouldn't. Oh. But honestly, sometimes that song like grew on me a few times. But anyone who's listening only knows about that.
I mean,
and my brother.
There are actually worse songs, but, race to the bottom. So
exactly. But, yeah, anyway. Shout out to my mom, my dad, and my brother, and my little Chihuahua Bingo. They're sitting at home. They're probably listening. Hey, Baba.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Oh, and if anybody who likes that song, it's a free country. Not.
Oh,
if that was your next
that's
song,
kind of a lie.
If you segued to your next song, that would be like if that were your next song, I'd be kind of embarrassed right now.
We built this city.
The thing is, I probably wouldn't recognize it until you got to the title. So.
Well, rest assured, I'm not playing to that. I'm playing more of my muddled up, free-spirited, whatever I have left on my set list deal kind of thing going on. So rest assured, I'm not going to play that guilty pleasure tonight. Well, even though, give it time.
If you stick around, we'll have to talk some Jefferson Airplane off air.
Oh, yeah. Yes, of course. Although, just heads up, I'm not an airplane historian, honestly. And I'm not guilty in any way, shape, or form about that, because they're one of those groups that you can hardly keep tabs on everything. Like, in their heyday, you couldn't keep tabs on anything. Everything was out of control and fun and rock and roll. And there are probably insane things they've done backstage that you can only hear from a backstory from like an old roadie, like back in 1966, before Grace Slick came to the question, they found a UFO behind the stage.
You realize she wasn't originally in the band then?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
That's impressive. You just leveled up in my. You know a lot more about them than I realized.
I have my moments.
Can you name the original singer?
I forgot her name.
Is it pronounced Signe Jolie Anderson, Mike?
Something like that.
She had a baby and went on maternity leave, and they got Grace Slick, pretty much.
Speaking of babies in the 60s, there's this whole thing involving Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, involving a baby. I don't remember the whole story. I'm probably going to have to look into it some more, but I don't know. That just popped off in the center of my head all of a sudden.
There used to be a baby, but the baby went away.
I see.
That's not Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Go on.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I don't know. I still have things to catch up on.
Well, there's a lot of music.
I have a long way to go.
So, Mike would probably really like you to do a song.
No problem.
I fill gaps, but I don't want to fill too many gaps. So
No, it's all good.
Say your name again so people know who we're listening to.
Based on the incorrect music trivia I got tonight, I'm not sure if I want to say my identity.
The Masked Singer.
The Masked Singer.
Oh, you really are too. I wasn't even.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. That's a little more on the nose than I wanted.
That is quite literal. But
oh God, I'm going to stop before I dig a even deeper hole.
Here's a little secret. I had a set list, but my phone is so broken that if I turn it on, it has this thing called the ghost screen. And if I try to select anything, it could exit out of apps at will, and it can type random things on Insta, and it's just a whole nightmare. So I'm just going to go off from the top of my head what I had next going. I just remember something I want to play. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to switch back to my original amp preset, or no, actually I'm going to stay on this one. It's most appropriate. It has the most echo and reverb, so this one is a cover as well. It's a cover of a cover. Vanilla Fudge, they're the ones who covered it. It is called You Keep Me Hanging On. is a transition into a next song. No. Oh, God, that didn't make sense. This song is called Psycho Killer by the Talking Heads. Hope you enjoy it. Was just a quick and easy instrumental. Now, this next song, or no, this is another combination of another group that I kind of fell in love with by a friend. This is a combination of this group. It's called Flamin' Groovies. And they were a San Francisco band from the mid-'60s all the way up to now. You know, I heard they're still performing, or at least to my latest knowledge. And this is a combination of their early stuff from 1969 to 1975. Hope you enjoy it. This first one, starting it off, is called, let's see. No, I don't know. I'm just going to play it. That was a very brief compilation. That was maybe like, what, 4 songs? I don't know. Still, I have a long way to go before I cover their entire collection, all their pieces of music, but whatever. That's not really on the list for now, memorizing every single thing that they do. But this next one kind of strays away from the era that they were from. This one's like, oh, hey, what's up?
Is this the encore?
Oh, is my time up? I haven't been focusing on time.
It's what, 10:58, 57?
Yeah, it's something like that.
I mean, you
Got
have time for one more. It's just, if you're saying like this next one, make sure this next one is one that you're comfortable making an impression, because unless it's 30 seconds, it's probably going to be the encore.
It's going to be real short, trust me. It is a tribute to the great Randy Rhoads, God rest his soul.
Could you tell people who that is?
Randy Rhoads. He was a guitarist for Ozzy Osbourne in the early 80s until his unfortunate demise in an airplane accident.
And how long ago was that?
This was, oh, God.
I mean,
okay,
you don't
so
have to
this
give
was,
a day of the week or anything.
This was, yeah, I don't remember his exact date of death. What was it, 1980? I don't know. Someone could correct me on that. Again, I'm not an Ozzy or Randy Rhoads historian, but all I know is he was an amazing guitarist. And a while ago, Ozzy found a demo of his, an unreleased demo that they then put on, an album later as like a little bonus piece. But I thought it was truly breathtaking. And I don't live in the 80s. I live 50 years ago, but I keep the 80s in a very special place in my heart. But
you know, I do a 1930s show on Wednesdays.
No kidding.
So if you live 50 years ago, it's probably still it's more than 50. It's more like 90. But you're welcome to tune in.
Oh, really? Yeah. Like, oh my goodness. Have you ever heard of that guy, Jimi Hendrix? Oh my God, he plays that git fiddle like you never heard before. My goodness me. Oh, and that Pete Townsend. I'm remixing 30 stuff with stuff from the late 60s, early 70s.
I have a listener who's listening right now, and when I did the 50s, I asked if he had any requests, and he said Jimi Hendrix. And I think I have one 50s recording that Jimi Hendrix was like a sessionist on.
Oh, yeah.
But, Jimi Hendrix was not a household name in the 50s, and I hope if people listen to enough WEFT, they'll come away with a better context of, A begat B, and not, the Beatles ripped off Oasis or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that is something a lot of people don't know about Hendrix. He actually used to be a session and standing guitarist in the background until in 1966 he flew over to the UK and made a name for himself, and all of you know the story up until 1970.
Well, yeah, the thing is, almost all his hits were over there. He only had one hit over here.
I know, no one cared about him in America, and that devastates me. He's a treasure.
Well, he's one of those people that is bigger now than he was when he was active, probably. So
exactly, he's much of it. Something that makes me happy is he's appreciated by a lot of younger people. Like, of course, like there's me, who appreciates him. But if you go out and talk to other people my age, they'll go like, "Oh, Hendrix was an idol." You'll go like, "He did make a name for himself up to now. It's amazing." But I'm not gonna keep stalling. I'm gonna find the amp preset I need to do this final thing.
So I would say we can talk Airplane, Hendrix, whatever you want afterward. But stay tuned. This is his encore, and then we have something special coming up to lead off Local 901. I guess actually this hour at this point, but it's another hour of music. Stay tuned. This is WEFT 90.1 FM. Thank you.
it for me tonight, everybody. I had a lot of fun playing on WEFT. This was the Randy Rose tribute, and my name is Branson Ravanh, and I play guitar, and I drive around in a green Volkswagen. So if you catch me around town, give me a thumbs up or a B sign right before I leave for Chicago. Thank you so much, everybody. If it's okay with all of you, I'm going to keep playing until someone comes out and tells me to stop.